Hey everyone, this is episode 269, and even though this episode is fun and we talk a lot about Predator and some other things like that as a pop culture, it does have a little bit of a sad note in the beginning because this episode is dedicated to the Chase dog, Chaser himself. You'll hear soon who Chase is. It's a real big reason this podcast is here because without this podcast, I probably would have not, without Chase, I would not know Bender. Bender would not be the original co-host. I would never have met Tom, so hopefully one day I would have met Jay. But anyway, you see how that works out. This podcast could be directly contributed to the Chase dog. So without further ado, and just so you know it's Bender and I only, it is episode 269, and it is going to start right after this bomb, which is in about, it's now. We'll just cut this whole conversation. But we will say we are back. This episode is a couple weeks late just due to a big work trip last week. And we don't have a Jay and we don't have a Tom, but what we do have for the first time since his epic ordeal with COVID would be one Jonathan Aloysius Bender.
Yeah, that'll work.
Our John Bender.
I'll go with it.
Our Bender only.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hey, everybody.
So,
COVID was a good time. 3 weeks instead of everybody getting it at once. We all got it one at a time.
You staggered like a good family should.
Yeah.
Nobody, you don't all be sick at once. Who's going to take care of who?
Honestly, it wasn't that bad. Mine was like a head cold. Harry had like a fever for 2 days and some chills. Vera had a headache, and then Rachel had like she had it probably the worst, like the body aches.
That makes sense.
That.
She's the most extra. Yeah. So the timetable here we're looking at going back to New York has been about 9 weeks since we've been in New York. So
it was right before you guys went to Colorado.
Yeah, then 2 weeks after that, we got ready and we went to Colorado. And then I got back from Colorado, I was back for a week, and then I went to Chicago for work. And
then
my
dog died.
And then I also went to I had a 30-person suite at the Cardinal game for work. The picture I'm painting here is I have felt like shit through a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it could have been COVID.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, though, because I also feel like I need to detox from the booze a little bit. And I've been, in fact, I was explaining to a customer today how my wife might be an alcoholic. And then I was doing the math. I go, you know what? I might be an alcoholic, too.
So, yeah, I know I'm an alcoholic because
my customer corrected me. You're only an alcoholic if you go to a meeting.
Yeah.
You're just a good time otherwise.
I'm just a fun drunk. There was some comedian that was on the other day, and he posted a tweet from his 10-year-old show. I forget his name, but he was basically making a joke. He's like, yeah, I'm turning 29, or I'm turning 30. He's like, 29 was cool. You got away with a lot of stuff. Like, nobody really looked at you too bad if you were drinking all day and then went into work, like in your 20s. Like, once you turn 30, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Why are you drunk at 8 in the morning? Because I'm awesome. No, sir, you have a problem.
It's been a rough go. And here, as we sit here, I did bring back some Russian River, some Pliny the Elder back from Denver, which you said this may be your first time ever had.
It might be the first time I've ever had it. It's very good.
It's a really good beer. I'd say, the hype about it has died down over the years because more and more people have had it. But I would still so far say this is one of the early high ABV IPAs. I would say that this is probably one of the consistently best annually produced beers that are out there, I think.
Yeah, it's very smooth, and it's at this point, like with like the hazies and like your all kinds of different crazy hops and everything, this is pretty like just a good tasting beer that doesn't have a lot of
and it's an ale.
Extra stuff.
Yeah. It's a straightforward ale that's 8%.
It reminds me a lot of like Citywide. Like, to me, Citywide is like a go-to beer. Now, this is better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Wrong. No, it's like a better version of what you want out of Citywide. But what you get out of Citywide is still great.
Yeah, absolutely. But, this is very tasty. I like it a lot.
They only sell it by the bottles.
Yeah.
But we were lucky enough to have it on tap at a lot of places.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I haven't done podcasts since then. When I went up to Chicago for work last week, we were in the Oak Brook area. So we played golf at this Oak Brook, really nice course. But get up like I typically do, and I've got a new partner in my market, and I'm breaking him in the way just not the way I was broke in, but the way I go about it. For instance, I told him, I said, we get a day for travel every time we go somewhere. I get in as early as possible.
Yeah, you might as well.
And I go to breweries.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We went to this one. We started off. The hotel allowed me to check in early. We went over to a putt shack, which is fucking cool. We're getting one at the City Foundry downtown.
What's that?
It's a nice bar and restaurant, good variety, like 30 on tap.
Okay.
But they have 4 9-hole miniature golf courses inside.
Oh, that's awesome.
But they're not normal miniature golf. Like at one point, you have to putt and go down speakers going from bass to snare, boom, boom, boom. boom.
Oh, that's pretty
and then
cool.
it go. And then if you hit the cymbal at the end and roll under it, it'll give you. So every hole, you get a hole in one, that's worth 50 points.
Okay.
But there's like bonuses to get more points
Okay.
as you're putting. There's like one hole is like a true false question it gives you on the overhead. And it's you putt to the left lane for true, the right lane, and then you get bonus points.
That's pretty sweet.
And you don't keep track. The ball is 100% keeps track like Top Golf. Only
Yeah.
it is what it is Top Golf for miniature golf.
Okay.
And it's very fun. We're getting one downtown here
That's
in the
awesome.
fall.
I haven't been to the Foundry yet.
Me neither, but I got a lot of Foundry going in my future now that I've got season tickets to St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah, I've seen.
Yeah. But so we went to that, and then we went, and it sucks that I can't remember the name. But then and my partner, he was up there for the week before for vacation because his family's from up there. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I was telling him, I was like, man, here's all these breweries. It was a Monday, so some breweries don't open. Mm-hmm. But we managed to go to one that he had went to and said it was very good. And I got to tell you, I'm gonna run down it real quick since it was very good. And then he also, because I got him this job, he also brought me back a bunch of Boston beers. I did not save any for anybody.
Oh, that's all right.
I drank them all. Because, why not? Well, here we go. More Brewing Company in, it's kind of Villa Park is what this says, but that's their main one. So I had, just to run down what I had for you, I just wanted to get to one. I had, of course I had a hazy. Mm-hmm. I had a cream ale they had, which was a honey cream ale, which was pretty good.
Okay.
Different.
It's different than vanilla. Most of the time it's like vanilla cream. Yeah,
but it was pretty solid. Then I had the regular IPAs, but I had these two beers. I had a barrel-aged henna, is what they call it because of the hops, but a birthday. It was a birthday cake stout that was coming in at a robust 14%.
Holy shit.
And then I had...
Still too hot for stouts for me.
Well, yeah. And then I had... Let me see if this is the one, though. I think this is the one that has the best description. Oh, darn it. Yeah, let me check it. Here's what it was. Barrel-aged Imperial Stout with coconut, pecans, vanilla, and cocoa nibs. And I got to tell you what. You could taste every fucking thing in that beer.
Is that a good thing?
It was amazing.
Okay.
Like I was like you. We're slowly approaching stout season.
Yeah.
So this would kind of be my first big one since it warmed up. Mm-hmm. And I always forget because I'm so enamored with IPAs more so than even when I burst into the craft beer. I forget how much I just love incredibly good stouts.
Yeah.
And it was a good one. But again, fucking 14-15%.
Yeah,
it was not. Yeah, we got a little bit drunk that day. Then we had. But it was a good trip. I had a lot of good beer throughout the week. But that's the best thing about them. I've got to go back to Nashville here in about 4 weeks. I'm excited about that because again, I get a whole travel day, and I always drive to Nashville. I don't fly.
Yeah,
because it's 5 hours, and I can leave whenever I want.
What's Chicago, 6?
No, it takes us. We've drove to Chicago from my front door to our hotel, which we always get on the Miracle Mile right there in the heart of the downtown. That's usually right at 5 hours.
Okay.
5.5 if traffic's a little heavy. And then I bet to where we were going in Oak Brook was probably closer to that 5.5
okay.
range. So
I guess you don't have to pay for parking because of work, but
I do when I go for fun, but for that
but normal people.
Oh, see, I always get the parking spot. Here's the thing.
The parking spot app?
No, not the parking spot. ParkWiz app.
Oh, okay.
So ParkWiz app, and keep in mind, no one ever sponsors our show, so this is not. But ParkWiz, now the only hiccup with ParkWiz, like I've parked in downtown Chicago for a week with the family for like $46.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
But
this is like $30 a day.
But you can't come and go.
Oh,
you park it and leave. But we're going to Uber everywhere anyway, so you don't pay for parking everywhere else. So I guess it's a wash. And actually,
that's perfect because then you're driving home, and depending on how much gas is or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you're taking a train up there for.
And the first time we went to Chicago, and this was years and years ago, probably at this point before Hayden was born or just after, I can't remember. I mean, parking at our hotel was $67 a day.
Yeah.
That's real money.
Yeah. No,
when you get a $350 a night hotel for 4 nights, and then on top of that, your parking's $300 more dollars.
Like last time I went to Nashville, like we were just there for the day, and it was like 8 hours was $35 or something. Like,
oh, now that I do take advantage of for work. I put that on work.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't have a travel card.
And I fucking go with the valet extra $10 a day.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Top her off while you're.
That's right. That's right. What's it going to cost me for some weed in this?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm kidding. I would never do that for work. But here in St. Louis, no. But I do want to. We're talking about this travel and all this boozing and this good times. I do want to bring it down because you told something that someone did that was very cool, but is very sad. But I feel like we could bring it up here because
it's a safe space.
Yeah, and I think for those that know, we've heard Lou in the studio over the years, who looks like a throw rug right now.
Yeah,
just
very
chilling.
lumpy. He's like one of those squishmallow pillows.
That's what he is, and he's got Squishmallow Chewbacca right beside him.
There you go.
But before Lou, there was a dog named Murphy, which was a 130-pound wonder dog.
Yeah,
mean, but super great dog.
Just the biggest, dumbest idiot ever.
But we did have to get rid of him because of his meme, because we never got him. Never got his nuts clipped, and that's where his aggression still stayed from. But
it's too much dog for
an apartment and then a small house.
Yeah.
He'd have been okay here with this fence.
Yeah.
But obviously that's and we had we done.
Missy wasn't really a dog person anyway.
Oh, she's a dog person. No, she was. It was him. It was her. Is the reason we had him.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But she tricked me in getting him. But when we got him, I thought we were picking up a 2-month-old dog.
Yeah.
We picked up a 2-month-old giant dog with massive paws. I was like, well,
this dog was big.
We got to take these toys back because I got them for what I thought was going to be a little dog. But anyway, so Murphy and your dog Chase is the reason you and I are friends.
Yep.
In our old apartment complex, I don't even think we've really talked about that apartment very much.
Yeah, we had that common ground.
I saw it, by the way, speaking of, just a tangent but related, I saw yesterday was Kimmy's birthday.
I did see that.
51st birthday.
God, she looks 75.
Does she? I don't remember. Remember when we were helping her with her house while she was gone, and we would go inside, and she had those pictures when she was a young cheerleader?
Yeah.
And she was actually hot?
Yeah.
She don't listen to this. It's
no,
okay.
no, I'm not worried about it. She don't know how to download a podcast.
Super great person.
Oh, yeah, she's super nice. Just booze and cigarettes.
We had these 4 apartments of a much larger complex. We had one of the cooler areas in terms that it was this like double hill common area.
Yeah.
And before the cops cracked down on the leash laws, we used to just go out there with our dogs on no leash, and that's how we became friends.
Yeah, it was me, you, Kimmy with Butt Kiss, the Corgi or whatever.
Little cute guy.
He was a great dog. And there's a bunch of random people.
The crazy woman with the dogs.
Yeah, we would hang out all day and let the dogs run around and
that literally you and I found we were on the same schedule, like a bunch of women in a sorority getting syncing up. We would be out for breakfast to take them out, and we just became friends.
Yeah, coffees in the morning, beers after work, and then you'd go work at the bar a little bit, and I'd walk up there and have some beers when Rich went to work. It was nice.
And this was 14 years ago now?
Yeah, Chase was 14.
14 years ago. So that's how we met. Mm-hmm. We had since a long time ago got rid of Murph, but Chase has moved with you from that apartment to your house in Willott to your house now.
Yep.
And you just lost Chase a week ago.
Yeah, I had to put him down. Well, this Thursday will be 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, we had to put him down. He'd been, he's 14, and he'd be getting old, and he just couldn't keep weight on. Like, he just constantly was losing weight, and he was, like, ravenous, just eats everything. He'd steal the kids' food, which he never did.
He felt starving.
Yeah, he was falling a lot, and so I took him to the vet, and the vet's like, honestly, he sounds pretty healthy, and his heart and lungs sound pretty good. She goes, but I would suggest a blood test to make sure nothing's going on. And I was like, okay. So I leave there on a Monday, and she's got me feeling pretty good about him.
Yeah, like, okay.
I was like, all right, he's healthy, and
she says it's fine.
Yeah, and then she's like, but we should do this blood test just in case. So I get a call on Tuesday, and she's like, there's 2 things that you do for your liver enzymes. There's like ALP and ATP, or I'm saying them wrong. It doesn't matter. It's 30 and 100 are the levels that they're supposed to be at. I'll take whatever I wrote. It's 30 and 100 are like anything over that they're concerning. And the first one should be under 30, and it was at 1,300, and the second one was at 3,100. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And she goes, he's uncomfortable, and he's in a lot of pain. So I was like, well, I don't want to draw this out. I talked to Rachel. I was like, we'll take him in as soon as we can. So she's off on Thursday, so we took him in on Thursday. And I texted you guys because you have known him since he was born. It's like, he's like our first kid.
You made our daughters cry. Not on purpose.
Yeah. And so I take him in, and
he's older than Hayden, to put it in perspective.
Yeah, he's 14.
And older than all your kids but J-Man.
Yeah, he had a great life. And so we take him in, and they have this blanket on the ground for him, and the lady comes in, and she's got like a big thing of peanut butter and Cheese Whiz and cat treats and dogs, and he's just fucking shoving everything in his mouth. And then they did it, and I laid there with him for a little while, and I left, and I mean, it sucked. Like, it was a hard couple days. And it's gotten easier every day.
Well, the day before that, though, you got us by sending a picture of him getting his last beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough one.
And he's such a white trash dog, too. He fucking loved Bud Light. I could never get him to switch over to the good beers.
So there was that, and that almost made me cry just now, too. But something cool they did, and you said it's gotten better every day, and this is why. I mean, I think it's a good story to tell.
Yeah,
but
it's gotten easier every day.
It's a good thing we're not pot smokers, because we'd be bawling like a baby, going to like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
but you said it's gotten better every day. But this is something that's amazing they did. But they brought you back to tears again.
Yesterday they sent me a sympathy card, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And I opened it up, and his paw prints are in there. They gave me 4 copies of his paw prints, and I just started freaking bawling. Man. I was like, damn it. I really appreciated it, but I'm just...
You got a Warner brother.
Hit me.
You got a Warner brother before that happened.
Yeah, no, it's better, and I feel good about his life. He was a good dog, and Zero was a little weird. She's getting better now, and
see, that's what we worry about with this guy. Is not. I mean, obviously, Louis at 10.
Yeah.
And he's part bulldog, so there's some problems that we look out for.
Yeah.
But he's pretty healthy overall.
Yeah.
I expect we get a few more years, and we don't want to talk about it with the girls around.
Not.
But what we worry about is what happens with the one upstairs, because he is the most codependent dog on him that I've ever seen.
That's how Zero is, and she's really latched on to me. I think the working from home stuff really helps.
That really, yeah.
So she latches on to me, and like she needs more walks and a little bit more attention, and she would never pee outside without Chase out there.
Oh yeah.
And now I have to stand out there and like watch her pee. I'm like, it is what it is.
Small price to pay.
Yeah, but I don't want another dog at all.
Oh,
I just need some time.
I could see that too, because me and Missy had talked like what happens if one day the Lou does pass, and like we're gonna have to take some time, but then do we? Because we still have the other one, But
you just gotta let it ride for a while.
Oh yeah, you can't. It's like breaking up with divorcing your wife. Yeah. You don't jump right back into a new marriage. Yeah.
And your daughters are a little older, but like having a 3-year-old and trying to paint, or a 4-year-old and trying to train a puppy is like, it's.
I'll tell you right now, and thinking about this is almost make me cry. Kaylin's got one more year of high school, and then she's going to go off to college.
Yeah.
The worst thing that would happen is if he passed while she was gone.
Yeah.
Oh, she would be devastated.
Yeah, that's how Jeremiah. He was pretty cool. He was like, whatever. He's like,
well, he's a robot, though.
Yeah. But he was pretty sad.
Hey, Mr. Robot Season 3, if that's a thing, is going to be J-Man.
Yeah. But it hit him more than he likes to let on, and Harry was crying and like.
Oh, little man.
Yeah, it sucked, but.
So that's on
a lighter note.
Yeah, on a lighter note, it looks like you looking at a beer list too for.
Oh, I was trying to. Yeah, there was a couple that I had the other day. Jeremiah got me that beer of the month club thing for Father's Day.
Oh, cool! And like from where?
I forget who.
Just some online thing.
Yeah, it's an online one, and it's so the first brewery they sent me, I think he only did like 2 or 3 months, but it's expensive, so
still worth it.
Yeah, it's awesome. The first brewery he sent me was Roughtail Brewing Company, and I really liked their beers were pretty good. They gave me a porter that I have not tried yet because it's just too fucking hot to drink.
Oh, well, it's just abnormally hot in the world anyway.
And so that one I got sitting back there, but then I also had a Jackalope. Well, there was one from Jackalope Brewing Company.
I've had some Jackalope stuff. Where's that from? I feel like I've been there.
I want to say Nashville.
It's Nashville. That's why.
But then there was another one called Roughtail Brewing Company in there. That one's Oklahoma City, and I liked that one because they had fun names, like one of their beers, which is a Weiss, but I'm not a huge Weiss fan, but
Go get it. Wait a second. Lou, go upstairs. Oh, look, now the Jenkins is coming down to get him. It appears that Lou wants to go outside, so I'm trying to get him to come upstairs.
Go on, Lou.
Here he comes, Mom.
Oh, you texted her?
Yeah.
Look at this technology.
He just prances. Like, look at me, I'm a proud guy.
Yeah.
I'm a good-looking dude. He's slimming down, though.
Yeah, but he knows his butt. His butt shakes really.
Yeah, he knows how to get the ladies. Yeah. He can't do anything with them because their vaginas are higher than him, and he's not exactly agile.
Yeah, no, no.
But anyway, so
Polterweiss was the beer that I had.
That's a fun name.
I fucking loved the name. They just had fun names and great art, and the beer was pretty solid.
It's like that brewery in KC, that one that we went to, that Area 51 brewing or whatever, had all the cool names based on pop culture.
But right now I'm drinking just Toppling Goliath Pompeii.
Oh, which is Toppling Goliath has their shit together.
Yeah, they're like Main and Mill and like Four Hands. They don't really put out a beer you don't like.
Yeah,
their IPAs are like their specialty more than anything else.
I had a long conversation with the guy at that Moore Brewing Company about St. Louis beers, and he said, I like Schlafly beer. He goes, this Schlafly is like a great gateway craft beer, and I said, You're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is.
I had that conversation with Tom, and he's like, do you still buy Schlafly? I'm like, yeah. Anytime they put something new out, I'll drink it. They're not the forefront, but they're always steady.
I always get their pale ale. Their pale ale for me is like Sierra Nevada's pale ale or 420 or 420 from Sweetwater pale ale. If I just want something easy or Founders All Day IPA, I just grab those. Now, I will always drink their oatmeal stout when it's in winter because I love their oatmeal stout. And I believe, I could probably look this up, but it is not even close on check-ins on Untappd on oatmeal stout compared to me. I think I'm the number one by double the next person, which I believe is Missy.
Oh, okay.
So that's how many times back in the day. And then I think after that, the porter, I'm also number one.
But I don't think they do the porter anymore, do they?
It's just seasonal.
Yeah,
it's seasonal, and they still come out with it.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't see it at Schnucks at all last year. I'll have to look for it because I really like that porter. And
it was a good porter.
If you want like just something like a little lighter than their pale ale, though, I really like that Kolsch they put out. And it's just
a good Kolsch.
It's just an all-day beer.
It's hard to get excited about a Kolsch, but it's not. Pretty solid.
If you just want something you just want the taste of beer, and you don't want to drink like a Natural Light or a Bud Light, that's just got a little bit more flavor to it.
What else do you got to talk about before we jump into pop culture? Anything?
No, man. My dog died.
Covered.
We had COVID. It's been rough. It's been rough.
Yeah, you you're about to lose your more. We just went bankrupt.
Yeah,
that's the next step.
Yeah, my house fell into. No, we didn't get flooded, and a lot of people got flooded last week. I guess during all the storms.
Well,
your backyard seems, or your basement seems okay.
Yeah, it did not affect my basement. I did go to see one of my customers today, and their shop is closed in Florissant because it flooded.
Yeah,
so
it's a crazy amount of rain. I was off of
crazy amount of rain, and the oddest places to flood that have never flooded in the past. I
was off Old Halls Ferry because the little guy's birthday is this weekend. Well, it's next week, actually, on the 18th. 19th. He's 8, 19, 18. I always get that backwards. Anyways, but we're doing his birthday on Saturday, and Rachel wanted to do a Sonic theme. He wanted a Sonic-themed birthday party. So she sends me to the only Party City in St. Louis that has a life-size Sonic
that's
balloon.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It's off Old Halls Ferry by work, which isn't bad, but it fucking monsooned 5 inches of rain in 5 minutes. I couldn't see shit except for the rain coming sideways at me.
Kaylin, my oldest daughter, for those that don't know, it was her birthday on the 28th, and her friends, they had this yearbook camp, this little workshop down in the city, and they took her for her birthday to surprise her, take her to Loop, take her to Vintage Vinyl, and buy her a vinyl. And that was the second round came through, and they got stranded at a gas station off the Loop with a bunch of crackheads.
Oh, nice.
Because it flooded, 6 inches up off the road, and they had to wait it out.
Yeah.
And Kaylin was crying, the driver was screaming, and the other friend in the back seat was just laughing at all of it, which is apparently...
Oh, man, they should be... I don't have TikTok, but that seems like a TikTok is waiting to happen.
And she was like, she goes, we were scared of the rain. We were scared of the crackheads. I'm like, well, you did go to the dumbest place.
Yeah.
Don't go to the gas stations.
No.
But, the rain was abnormal. It's funny, too, because John Shannon, friend of the show, former guest, he's been on, or he and I were texting, and he goes, He goes, see, you guys got more rain. I go, yeah, it's a drought and a heat wave in the rest of the country, but us in St. Louis are like, hey, we got some to spare.
Yeah.
Just take some of it.
Yeah, the humidity is fucking disgusting.
Oh,
You're standing outside, you're just sweating.
Hayden did that All-American Series again this year, and she won the championship again, and she won the Keeper Wars. There was a lot. This season, I tell you, this is a good event. If you guys got young kids, socceryouth.com, just go check it out. It's worth it. Essentially what they do is they have one practice or two if you buy the extra one, and then they divide teams up as evenly as possible, and those teams play round robin, get seeded for a tournament, and then they play. And it's always small-sided games. So, like, 7v... In this instance, we played 5v5 because of the lack of girls.
That's fun, though.
And then there's a Keeper War competition. It's great. This year in St. Louis, there was some of the bitchiest parents I've ever heard. Hayden's team, right out of the gate, was clearly the best team. They won 15-1 in the first game.
Oh, wow.
So they're like, they took a player, moved it over, and moved this other player over. And then the other player that came over with us, she quit the team after the first game. But she clearly was in over her head. She was on a very skilled, fast team. And she was neither of those things.
Okay.
So we played the whole weekend with no sub. So in the championship, we were given a sub from one of the losing teams, and then the other parents threw a fit. Well, they've been fine they've been playing multiple games
kids.
in 100-degree temperature.
Kids.
Yeah.
You won't want them to die?
And then when we won the championship, even though we barely won because our sub, she kind of gassed out on us. So the team we beat 8-2 in the first round robin game, we beat them 3-2 in the championship. Hayden played great all weekend, but as soon as the game was over, all the parents were like, well, our keeper better win the Gold Gloves best keeper of the weekend because that keeper over there hasn't had to do anything all weekend.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Keeper Wars, where my daughter beat their daughter 7-0 in the final. So I was like, take the Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
Hayden beat the shit out of you one-on-one.
That's like yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, but when I was bringing that up, other than to brag about her a little bit, we were supposed to they do this skills competition where they give you a FIFA card rating, and you get one for your social media and stuff. Well, Hayden had Keeper Wars before that, and it was at 5 o'clock was Keeper Wars, or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was 104 at Keeper Wars, and she played 3 games in a row. That's 2 3-minute halves. So 3 minutes, so 6 minutes, 12 minutes, 18 minutes straight of competition soccer in that heat on that turf, and she come on, and I thought she was done. The second game, she barely got out of the second game, and I was like, I said, this next girl's going to go to your right. She goes, I know, and she's breathing heavy, and she goes, I go, I'm okay. I said, I'm not going to talk to you during. I said, I just want you. She goes, stop talking. I can't breathe. And she goes, and I was like, oh, you don't have to go back out. She goes, I want to. Well, she sucked it up, went out, and destroyed her. But she come on. She goes, I can't do the skill competition.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's get in the shade. Let's take a break. We sat for about 20 minutes. I said, the wait out there for the skills, 2 of the drills is like 40-minute wait. She goes, Dad, I can't stay in the sun. Yeah. And she was.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
I said, okay, we can't push it. We paid $100 for it, but they gave us $100 in merch. And they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I told the guy, I said, hey, my daughter just won Keeper Wars, and she cannot do the skill competition. He goes, is your daughter Hayden? I said, yeah. He goes, dude, she just dominated out there, and she dove all over.
Wow.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
He goes, that takes a lot out of you. And that's the most tired of any sport I've ever seen her. She was like on the verge of tears, exhausted.
Yeah.
And because it was so fucking hot.
No, it's awful. I mean, I'm older and fatter and everything. But
we don't have the endurance they do anymore.
No, but like even playing volleyball, like on Thursday nights, like you just
those 6 o'clock games are.
I got one this Thursday. We lost the championship this week, or we lost some playoffs this week, and the team we played, we should have beat them, and it was really annoying.
I told you our team's really good when we have Jordan, me, and Tim, and the Vides all there. Yeah. We won 2 championships in 1 week this past season, and this season though we're in the cellar because I haven't been at any game on either night. Jordan haven't been at it, so I'm like, we're just gonna mail this season. We're essentially just paying to keep our spot moving forward. Yeah.
Well, we do pretty well, and then like when we start doing really well, one of our guys is 6'8", and he really all he's got is his height. He's never played before, but he's 6'8". Oh, he's gonna jump up and stop the ball. And anytime we play a team that's remotely good, and Jake starts spiking, they're like, "This is bullshit." I'm like, "You're the first place team. You don't know how to dig out a fucking spike."
Yeah,
it's like he's slamming it in your face.
Yeah.
It's every time, though. Every time. Like, if you watch him play, he's got no game in the back row.
Yeah.
All he's got is the front.
Well, and so we play a couple of those teams, and if I was the other team, I would serve, or every serve or pass or hit would go to him first to get him off his steps.
Exactly.
If he's not a real volleyball player, chances are he needs a good set. So hit to him first and make him pass the ball, and then take it away.
Yeah.
But people,
sorry, he's gonna pass it weird.
People want that T-shirt so bad they want to bitch at you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, let's get to pop. Let's go ahead and get some pop culture. We got to rename our segment. It's not Throw It to Miss anymore. It's like the pop culture page. I don't know. We'll figure
whatever
it out.
It is.
Yeah.
What's been going on? There's been a lot going on.
Well, let's start with the one thing that I know both you and I have seen. We don't have to wait for anybody else, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about Prey.
Dude, it was awesome.
So Prey, for those that don't know, and we saw this, it's been a year ago when we first saw the images that they were making a Predator prequel.
Yeah, and
The First Hunt.
Yeah.
But it was a Native American.
It was called Prey, but everybody was like, "What is?" Nobody knows what this movie is.
And then when we finally saw the first teaser, like 4 or 5 months ago, we were like, "Oh, this looks good." Then we started hearing some of the early looks, like, "Oh, this is the best Predator movie since the first one," and you always get a little worried about that.
Yeah, because they're hyping it up too much.
And everybody's. Here's my take. I'm going to give you my take about how good it is in the whole history of the series.
Okay.
I would put Predator 1 as 1, but not because it's a better movie, but because this movie wouldn't be this good if we didn't know what the Predator was.
Yeah.
But because of all the groundwork that Arnold and Jesse Ventura and all them gave us, and Carl Weathers, I give that movie a slight nod. But this was a better movie. Yep. Prey is the best movie in the franchise they made. Predator's still the superior entry into this franchise because it gave us the franchise. But this Predator was awesome.
Yeah.
The setting was awesome. The B story of... Well, I guess the Predator was kind of the B story.
Like it's the
Her becoming a hunter in a Comanche tribe, trying to be the woman that could show her worth.
She's just proven that she's smarter than everybody else, and they're not giving her the chance that she needs.
Yeah, and man, what a great movie.
Yeah, and like the other B side is like sort of like spoiler. The trappers or whatever.
The French.
Like if we don't want to go into
spoilers.
Hey,
remember, a month and months ago, when it came to Batman, I said, "We're spoiler warnings. That's all we need. We can ruin it if we need to."
Yeah,
it's
so like,
fucking free on streaming.
The B side, free. You still have to pay for.
Well, yeah. If you 90% of people that have apps can watch it. You know.
So I have weird story. You know how like you share apps and passwords and everything.
I do not, but I know how you do.
I do. I give shit away. Well, I got Hulu for my buddy Tom like 5 years ago, and it only works on one TV because I don't hang out with him that much, so I can't be like, "Hey man, what's your password again for all the other TVs?" It only works on my TV upstairs. I cannot remember the password, so I can't.
You just don't want to text him?
Yeah, I don't want to text him and be like, because it's weird. We don't hang out that often. Be like, hey, can I get that Hulu password again? But, so, like, if it ever goes out, I'm just going to, like, do the Disney ESPN bundle.
Oh, yeah.
But I just
well
haven't had to.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
But anyway, so, yeah, I watched it Friday night, and I was pumped. Rachel goes, I'm pretty wiped out from the weekend. You care about you going lay down? I'm like, actually, I'm very excited.
Yes, you're like, you go, yes! And she's like, what?
Yeah, she's like, I was like, well, I was going to watch Prey. She goes, what's that? I'm like, Predator movie? She goes, no, I'm out. That's stupid.
So I asked Missy, saying that, I go, you want to watch this movie Prey with me? She goes, what is it? I said, it's a Predator prequel. In fact, it's The First Hunt.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't care. I go, The First Hunt?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And she's like, I don't want to see it.
Rachel's mom came over on Sunday and she goes, you watch Prey, right? I'm like, yeah. It's fucking great.
Rachel's mom is the best.
Yeah, she's like, not only watch them, I watched it twice.
First off, she's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And second, she's maybe my biggest fan. And then third, she is a massive movie fan.
Oh yeah, she loves all
her
movies,
and Rachel's uncle.
Dorky movies, yeah. But anyways, yeah. So The Hunt was great. I think the only thing that would make the first one better is that the effects are a little more practical in that one.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, is my only complaint. And about halfway through the movie, the bear scene. I'm like, this bear kind of looks like shit. But then I was like, how much would it be just to get a real bear on set? And I'm like, you know what? It's probably cheaper to CGI a bear, and it's only going to Hulu, so they're not going to put that much into it.
I think the Hulu point of it was why. Yeah. The one thing I will say is animals and certain aliens in these streaming movies are struggle a bit. They don't look like Marvel movies,
No.
because they're going straight to streaming and they're like, hey, we're going to do the best we can.
Yeah, we're going to save $1 million here where we can.
Yeah.
There. And
That the
that
bear was
heavy.
the worst part of it in terms of the way it looked.
But I mean, the action scene was spectacular.
Still great, still great. And what he did to the bear, the alien or the predator did to the bear,
and like her, like the for lack of a better word, the parkour, I guess, like her jumping through the trees.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The movements were fucking awesome.
She was a great, and her name
Something Moon
Midhunter.
Midhunter. Yeah. So she was in Legion.
Yeah.
She was a mutant in Legion, and she was the alter personality of this older, really smart scientist guy. Legion, if you've never watched it, is worth watching because it's so
I need to go
weird.
back and watch it because it's one of those ones that the interweb is always saying it's
so
criminal
good.
that it didn't. Amber Mid Thunder.
Yeah,
Mid Thunder. What a good name.
Yeah, but she in Legion, she was two personalities in one body. At when the scientist was there, he was like doing math and stuff, and he was an older white guy. But like anytime there was a battle, he'd call her, and they'd switch places essentially. He'd go inside, she'd come out and kick ass. And it was a pretty interesting take on a mutant that I thought was really neat.
She was also just a small role, but she was a teller in one of the banks in Hell or High Water, which I say is one of the better movies that's came out in the last 5-6 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of the better westerns in the most recent time. But yeah, like the fight scenes, what'd you think about the Predator itself?
I thought the only thing I didn't like about his look, and it's again I'm being nitpicky, is his mask looked like a skeleton more.
I liked that.
I did like it, but the other masks was clear because it was
technologically
and
more advanced.
I didn't see how the skeleton look fit with the technological part of it.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to look more primitive. I guess.
Here's what.
He's scary as fuck.
Oh, he is scary. This one was, and he was a big one.
Lean.
He was a big boy. Yeah, he had a 6-pack or a 12-pack or whatever they have. He was awesome
and
looking.
His dreads were different. They were more like. They look like licorice.
Almost like they weren't as evolved yet either. But I will say this. Excuse me. Again, I'm not saying this is a detriment to the movie, but I'm going to say this. The Predators, like their whole gimmick, right, is they like to be challenged by hunting,
and they never win.
Well, they do win a lot before they just one loss that kills them apparently.
Yeah.
But if they really want to make it a challenge, get rid of all the weaponry.
Yeah.
In fact, this one was beat because it relied too much on its weaponry. It's auto-targeting.
Yeah.
Why does he have auto-targeting?
Yeah.
I mean, you're hunting.
Well, Trachtenberg said, the director, Dan Trachtenberg, said he got rid of the shoulder cannon for this because it was just too much of an unfair advantage, and he kind of had those arrows.
They all have
I'm like, those shoulder arrows were still pretty badass.
Yeah, those bolts.
Yeah.
And they went wherever the thing was.
Yeah, wherever his mask was looking. I'm like, that's kind of a
And
flaw.
the traps. I get why you would have traps because trappers trap. But, I mean, the Predator is so far advanced. I mean, it's so far advanced they can kick an alien's butt.
Yeah.
And they're so advanced and physically superior to everything they come across, they don't need all the weapons.
Yeah.
Just a cool spear weapon, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
And I loved how the
hand-to-hand combat was so good.
Well, I loved how all the Comanche were able, like, not all, but a couple of them, like her and her brother. Her brother especially. Her brother was a badass.
And the horse battle that he's riding on, like,
man.
I read this whole book, I listened to a whole book on Comanches, and they were the only ones who actually rode horses like that, like, where they were, like, that
was badass.
You see the pictures of, like, the Comanche riding, or the Indians riding sideways and shooting? Only Comanche did that. They were, like, badass motherfuckers on horses. And that was an awesome scene.
He knocked the shit out of him, and then which eventually led to his downfall because she took the helmet. Spoiler again. But he held his own, and I gotta tell you, when his death scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How he was like, she goes, we've got to run. He goes, no, it ends for me here.
This is where it ends.
This is where it ends. And one of my favorite scene parts was when he pulls they're in that thick brush, and he's got his bow drawn back, and he's looking for him. He goes, I've got him. And she goes, no, he's got us.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Pretty good. Yeah, dude, it was a lot of fun. And like Trachtenberg said, he goes, there's not a lot of dialogue, and there really isn't. I kind of want to go back and watch it in the Comanche mode.
So we're going to talk about that. And I'm not, this again, I'm just, it was an amazing movie, and I'm looking for things in it that they could have even improved on, just as from a critical eye. And I want to get our ratings on it here in a little bit. So there is a Comanche version, but the Comanche version is Comanche subtitles.
Oh, they don't talk in Comanche?
They do not speak in Comanche.
Oh, I thought they did.
They did not film it speaking Comanche. It's a Comanche sub, which is cool, but it seems a little lazy because it's such a cool movie. How I would not have been taken away by reading the subtitles.
That they did a Comanche, spoken version.
I looked it up. I looked it up because I had a conversation with Conaway, you know Conaway, about he said there's apparently a Comanche version. So, it just got a error on my Google broke. So it says how to watch it and stream it in
Comanche,
the original language. The anticipated. Here's what it says. See, given the story takes place in the heart of Comanche, viewers can choose to watch an alternate version. Oh, it's Comanche dubbing.
They dubbed it over.
Yeah, they dubbed it over.
Yeah.
And I get that
It
would have been
the funds to do two scenes.
Yeah, and it would have been. Well, I would have just honestly, it would not have taken away from the movie if all the Comanches were subtitled and they spoke in Comanche. But I told my buddy, I said, "Here's what happened.
You're not going to get the mainstream.
Here's what happened. They went and did a sales pitch at Paramount or whoever made this at Hulu, NBC, Universal, NBC, and they go, and then he goes, and we're going to teach all the actors to speak native Comanche, and the dude goes, whoa, dude, it's a Predator movie. We're going to only go so far on it, but
this has a ceiling for return on investment. It's around $100 million.
I think if you
500 million.
Probably. Yeah, I think if it goes in theater and it's we're at a different pre-pandemic time, I think if they take this same movie, the actors actually speak Comanche, I think this is one of the biggest sci-fi movies of all time.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of things that they won't invest in anymore, you know.
And they did a lot of the film. It's obviously filmed on location a lot in the woods, and there's a lot of smoke. There's a ton of smoke to hide like sets or whatever, which is fine, but
I did visually. Trachtenberg nailed it. It looked good. What else has he done?
He did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, that's right. And I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. The movie that he wrote and directed was not supposed to be a part of the Cloverfield universe from Abrams. But after it was made, it's like, we got to tie it in somehow because I'm going to release this for you.
Yeah, Abrams does that. I think that.
But it's okay.
That other one that he did for Netflix, the other Paradox or whatever, that has no bearing except for the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, which was BS too.
Yeah,
but 10 Cloverfield Lane's a very good movie.
It's great.
Yeah. That's John Goodman and Allison, or not Allison Brie. Brie Larson, right?
No,
it's the other one. It's the other one. It's the one that looks like Brie Larson.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
That's right. No, they're awesome. Also an awesome
John
actress.
Gallagher Jr. It says Bradley Cooper's in it.
Is he?
Is he?
Is he her boyfriend that dies in the beginning or something?
Clicked on the right movie, right?
Maybe not.
I guess so, maybe.
Oh, he's even cooler.
Great.
He's turning into Kevin Bacon. You get 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, speaking of Kevin Bacon, we're going to come back to him, but let's go ahead and...
Are we?
Yeah, we're going to put a bow on this one, though, and let's give your rating on it.
I give it a 4 out of 5. It'd be a 5 out of 5 if the CGI was better.
I give it a 4 out of 5 also, and I do say that it's, as far as Predator movies go and action movies in general, it's at the top of the list for sci-fi action.
Top 3 for sure.
And it definitely erases the bad taste of that super awesome Iron Man outfit Predator that we saw a year or two ago.
Predators?
Predators, I think it goes Prey, Predator, Predators is the best 3.
Yeah.
Predator, don't sleep on Predators. That's an underrated movie.
Oh, with
Topher Grace.
Andrew Garfield.
No.
And Topher Grace.
No, Andrew Garfield's not in that.
No, you're right.
Adrian Brody.
Thank you.
The nose. The nose plays.
Fucking nose guys.
The nose plays.
Yeah, and And Grace. I just watched that the other day, and I'm like, God damn, this movie's good.
It's a very good movie.
It's fun.
But let's come back to Kevin Bacon. I watched a horror movie that is on, I believe it's Paramount or Peacock, one of those two. They, Them.
I think that's Peacock.
Yeah.
Because I don't have Peacock.
Okay, then on Peacock, it's They, Them. Oh, by the way, I gave a 4 out of 5, too, in case I didn't say it.
Yeah, you did.
So They, Them is, on paper, a super great idea for today's climate. It's a slasher film set in an entirely gay trans cast in a conversion camp.
And
he's the head of the conversion camp.
Yep.
So the head, so obviously he's not trans or gay, but the majority of the cast in it is. And I looked them all up. Mm-hmm. They are honest to God people that identify as they them, people that are transitioning, all kinds of things like that.
That's awesome. Representation matters.
Yeah. Well, and like I told you, if you got a good idea and tell a good story, representation never feels like it's forced. And I think a lot of people's problem, and I'm not speaking for the dumb fuck far right.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking purely from a entertainment standpoint for comic books and movies. Mm-hmm. When things feel forced, is when people don't buy in. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I'm going to go ahead and give my rating on this movie. It's a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
It's got nothing to do with the cast. I think everybody carried their own weight. In fact, I think fucking Kevin Bacon's awesome in it. Yeah. I think he's the best in it because he's the most seasoned actor in it. It's also got My Girl, the girl from My Girl, that was also in Veep or whatever.
Oh, okay. I know I can't think of her name, though.
Yeah, so it's got her. The plot twist as to who the killer is pretty paper thin. The kills come the last third of the movie is when the kills really start happening. Mm-hmm. It's the reason it's not got a higher rating is it feels very much like it's just a stolen plot amalgam of Sleepaway Camp and Friday the 13th.
Which that works sometimes.
It would work if they leaned more and they tried. It's not like they didn't try. Mm-hmm. They tried to lean into these characters, the campers, mm-hmm. and if they leaned more and they developed the story, because this is a spoiler warning, one of them is a college plant there trying to research and shed light on what.
Oh, okay.
And they were a conversion camp that used extreme means. Mm-hmm. We didn't see enough of all that stuff.
There was not enough B plot.
Yeah, we did see some of it. And then when you find out who the murderer is, you're like, okay, well that. And here's the other part of it. For as big name of actor as Kevin Bacon is, and he's a big one, he's been around a long time, mm-hmm. It felt like a B movie. When it got all said and done, I told Missy, I said, I've seen some hate on this movie. It's like 33% Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
I said, it's better than that, but it so much feels like a B movie that it...
Is it like a paint-by-numbers movie almost?
Yeah, it disappointed me.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. Some of the things that they did...
Kevin Bacon, for Kevin Bacon is one of those guys that when he gets into a role, like for Sleepers, for example, like he played such an evil guard in Sleepers.
He's evil in this too.
But like for a long time, like I couldn't not see whatever he was in. And he took kind of baddish guy roles, I think, for a long time because he played so well at him, and like. That role like sticks with you.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's a good movie.
You saw Kevin Bacon with your kids, you'd be like, I don't know if you should be around him.
I'll give you a little bit of a.
That girl's name is Anna Chlumsky.
Chomsky. Yeah, Chomsky. Yeah, whatever.
CHLUMSKY.
Yeah,
Chlumsky.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, speaking of Kevin Bacon, also. The Bohannon Theater will open up again for Halloween this year, and mm-hmm. Tremors 1 is one of the movies.
Oh, I just watched it not too long ago. It's so good.
It's a fantastic movie. So Tremors 1, and then I think I picked the other one. I told Missy what it is. I think it was going to be like Beetlejuice or something like that. Okay. But I'm excited.
Speaking of, we're going to do a little bit of a tangent. Did you see the Rob Zombie Monsters trailer?
Yeah, we'll come to that at the end.
Okay.
We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back. Okay. So the things that this movie did do good though is the hero is the person that is confused about who he is as a person or who they are as a person. So they go by they them, but they don't. And they did a really good job of saying, I go by they them because I'm just lost.
Yeah.
And you see, like when they search through the camp, the counselors are searching through their stuff. They have a Bible, and in mm-hmm. the Bible, it's very like you really do feel like this lead character is searching for himself, and that works. Mm-hmm. Now they don't lean into that enough, and then there's a couple other characters. They do a good job of not at all feeling like they exploit any of the people's characters that are trans, gay, or whatever. Now, there's also two really, I wouldn't say graphic, but two pretty for as in depth as you could do without showing nudity. Mm-hmm. Sex scenes. One, and I think they did a good job of choosing They did one between two girls, and they did one between two guys, and there were some plot twists associated with it. So I feel like they did their due diligence in trying to do, but the only problem I had with the sex scenes, well, the guy sex scenes in particular, it was scored badly, which made it feel extra cheesy, and that's kind of where it really went off the rails. No, it was almost like an '80s love song. Like it was like, don't dig. And it was in the moonlight, and it was like, okay, this is.
There's a similar movie out with Pete Davidson.
Bodies. It's in a theater now, and
it's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's got good reviews, decent reviews.
Well, 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb, but it does have decent reviews.
Keep in mind, 7.6 on IMDb is almost a perfect score.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be pretty decent. Nope has a 7.5.
Oh yeah, Nope is up there. Did you? I don't know if you saw. And I haven't seen Nope. I haven't
seen Nope, and I haven't seen Thor. Okay,
that's one of the things I have to talk about. We got to steal our card because we haven't seen either of those. We need to maybe.
You haven't seen Love and Thunder?
I have not. Maybe we should go see it.
Okay.
Find some time to go see it because I do want to see it.
Maybe maybe.
Yeah, just yell at me. But so Nope, and I don't know anything about that. I want to go see that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know about it, but I want to go see it. My favorite.
It's got mixed reviews on the audience scores are very mixed.
I've heard from other filmmakers I trust and other critics that I like say it's. In fact, one critic said Jordan Peele is now the greatest horror movie director of all time, and he shut it down. He's like, I won't entertain that. That's an insult to John Carpenter.
See, and for a while, because I was playing on Twitter, and somebody said it, and then somebody else said it, and I was like, who is paying these people to say this? And then he came out, and it kind of became a game.
He shut it down, though. He's like, that's an insult to John Carpenter?
Yeah.
But from all that I've heard, and I even, Jim Ousley, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Jim Ousley went and saw Nope, and he loved it. He put his 3 takeaways from the film, and he said Jordan Peele is a Hitchcockian level master in the way he makes a movie. And I got to tell you, Get Out, Us, and Nope, that's 3. I mean, he's 3 for 3. Is he for the suspense horror genre what Tarantino was for the noir genre? I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Because they're quirky film styles.
He also did Keanu, which was, I mean, it's a mindless comedy, but it's still pretty fucking funny.
And it was very good reviews. But I mean, because he has his own. You can now spot what a Jordan Peele movie looks like just by seeing a scene. He's got his own camera style, his own filter or whatever.
Yeah.
Not just because he uses predominantly black cast, but he just
but also the musical scores are pretty solid, and he uses a lot of kind of like James Gunn does. He uses a lot of older songs. He uses a lot of older hip hop songs, but he changes the tempo a little bit and everything.
Yeah. Oh, you were really in love with it. Kendrick Lamar thing.
Yeah. Well, that's
that's something else.
That's Black Panther. That's
Wakanda. Yeah, that's the new one.
What's his name? What's the director of that? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I don't remember either. By the way, speaking of that, did that trailer tear you up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, see, it didn't me at all. There was no emotion in that for me.
When his mom
and I cried when Chadwick Boseman died.
I did too. Yeah. But when his mom was like, I've given everything, and she's a pretty good actress.
She is a great
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. See, but that felt like too gung ho for me.
Nah, Ryan Coogler is his name.
Ryan Coogler. It felt too
gung. Last name.
Yeah, sure. It felt too gung ho for me. I'll take your other Pompeii. You take one of those narrow gauges. Any of them, I don't care. But I wanted to be sad by it. But the trailer, and my other thing is the trailer didn't lean into sad very much. It did talk about it, him dying, but it really was to me, it felt more like this is
rebirth.
Yeah, this is the world after instead of. But I got a feeling the movie's going to do a good job when I go see it.
I think so too. And a couple takeaways from that trailer. First of all, the music was spectacular, starting with Bob Marley and then ending on Kendrick. I mean, he's the best rapper ever. But
so you say you love him? He is a great rapper.
Yeah,
and he's a genius.
I very much do.
He's a genius. Yeah.
But I just think. Doing Namor as an Aztec water god as opposed to Atlantis doing the DC thing, it's awesome looking. Like I think the art and the style. I can't say that guy's name.
Don't try it.
But he looks cool as fuck. That's
wrong movie. Okay,
yeah, that's a different movie that we were looking at.
All right.
Oh no, that is Black.
Yeah,
Panther
that is
2.
it. Go ahead. I'll pull him up. See if I can't figure it out.
I just like that they're doing an Aztec god style of.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think that I did not like the trailer. I thought the trailer was phenomenal. Tenoch Huerta.
Yeah.
I know Huerta. That part I can get.
Yeah, and he's from Narcos, apparently, which I never watched.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched that either, but sorry.
He looks cool as shit. He's not as jacked as everybody else, I would say. But that's okay, because I guess he's supposed to be a swimmer, like a lean.
Well, he's been living under the water forever.
Yeah. But
the only problem I have with the thought of the Atlantans versus the Wakandans,
which they're not Atlanteans.
Whatever.
Keep going.
But so Namor himself, Black Panther has no chance to beat Namor at any level. In fact, the army of Wakanda would have a tough time, the same way they would the Hulk. Namor and the Hulk and Thor are on a level. So, he's going to be a badass. And, he is, he's been a kind of a heel in the side. He's been a good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy, but always out to protect his own people. He's been a thorn in the side and would be a great villain for the Fantastic Four to fight because it would take the four of them combined to beat him. But still, I'm super pumped. I think it's a great choice to bring in for this movie.
I think so. And he's in the comics, which I don't know.
He's a mutant now in the comics.
Yeah. And he's technically the first mutant if you don't count Apocalypse. He says he's the first mutant. I'm trying to find where they're saying he's from. But anyways, the guy the play on where he's from in that is it's the name of the Aztec water god.
Okay.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah.
They bring in some really cool
Make it
art.
grounded and make it make sense for...
Yeah. And it's DC's already got Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and that's Atlantis, so they're trying to separate it.
It makes sense, too.
And it's two,
It's common property, though. They could have both.
Yeah, they could, but it's also two very extremely old cultures. Like, Africa's like,
that's why it makes more sense.
It makes a lot, and it's very cool. I think Ryan Coogler's style looks awesome, and I'm freaking pumped for it.
So we might as well jump into just a bunch of quick hit stuff as we talk about that then. Because, like I said, they, them, 2.5 out of 5. It's not great.
I did watch The Gray Man.
I haven't watched it yet, so we'll get to that.
I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
That's worth it for an action movie.
There's one really exceptionally dumb scene.
Okay,
but
I can't wait.
Fine. Ryan Gosling's fine.
See, that's okay though. If you make enough exceptionally dumb scenes in a row, you've got Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
So
it's a fast. If you would have, it's that scene you could supercut into any Fast and Furious movie and put Vin Diesel over Ryan Gosling's face and they'd save the Fast and Furious whatever we're on now $6 million.
So you brought up Ryan Gosling, obviously. So let's talk real quick on a quick hit. So good or bad, redoing Roadhouse with Ryan Gosling and
fucking terrible.
Conor McGregor.
It is a crime against humanity.
All right. Well, I agree with you, ish.
Conor McGregor's in it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a bad...
No, and it's not Ryan Gosling. That's,
it's
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, that's right. Okay.
And I just started to like Jake Gyllenhaal because I've always hated him. I really have. Like, his voice was really weird forever. And then he started getting kind of cool around Nightcrawler. And he was pretty good as Mysterio and Spider-Man.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And now he's going to fucking... Do Ghost. He can pull off Ghost with Anne Hathaway.
But here's what I wanted to say. Oh, that'd be a good catch. He's already done an Anne Hathaway movie.
Yeah,
so,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody likes when they work together.
But I want to say this, and don't get me wrong. I love Roadhouse.
I do.
But
it's such a bad movie.
I don't think this is a movie like when they wanted to remake Princess Bride, I threw my hands in the air and said, fuck you, Hollywood. But Princess Bride is a great movie.
Princess Bride is along the same lines in a different genre.
But it's also better. Roadhouse is a silly movie.
It's,
Pain don't hurt much.
Yeah. No, it's not a good movie.
I think
the bear fell on me is my favorite line ever.
I think Connor is the bad guy that at the end of the movie he's fights.
The one who gets his throat ripped out
on
the water.
Yeah, so I think that's
he's the one who's getting his throat ripped out.
But here's where they're gonna get it. Like, who do you cast it? Well, I mean, he's not a worse actor than Patrick Swayze.
He cannot do a stand-up sex scene like Patrick Swayze does.
Patrick Swayze didn't do that stand-up sex scene. That was a double.
Okay, either way.
He got mad at that. That almost cost the film because he was so loyal to his wife that he wouldn't do a sex scene.
Oh, that's right. I did read that. Yeah.
Now, but let me ask you this, though. Here's the important casting. Who plays the mentor Sam Elliott role?
Sam Elliott. He still has it.
No, he can't do any fight scenes. Bradley Cooper wouldn't be bad. You need someone older, though. I would say if Bruce Willis didn't have all his issues.
Liev Schreiber, if he leans up a little bit.
Little bit, yeah. He's getting up there, too. There's got to be an old action star. Dolph Lundgren. Nah, he's not.
No, he's too big.
But there's got to be
Stallone's too big.
But there's got to be a good actor that has played in some movies like that can pull it off. But we're just missing it.
Liam Neeson.
Now, see, I think Liam Neeson might be it. Neeson might be it. You know,
Sam Elliott can still pull it off.
He's too old.
Chris Christopherson?
No, he's too old too.
Too old too, probably.
Sam Elliott's way too old, but I think Liam Neeson's the pick. That's who was in my head.
Yeah. I don't want to see it. I won't watch this.
I'll hold my look. My knee jerk is it's a bad idea, but I will say that's a big star to put in a movie to do bad on it. So I'll reserve my judgment until we see the first trailer.
That is true. They redid Point Blank.
Oh, that was awful. But they didn't use any major stars.
There was nobody in that.
And it was awful. So what do you got in your first topic? Quick hit on. We put a pin in one while ago. What was it?
Fuck, dude.
Did I mess it up? Yeah, that was my fault.
It was the Gray Man.
No, it was something else. But I ruined it.
You did.
Yeah.
I'll think of it.
All right, we'll come back.
Go ahead, do another one.
I got one for you too. I just finished audiobook version because I listened to the majority of it in my drive to and from Denver, and then I wrapped it up this week.
I remember now.
Joe Abercrombie, who is my favorite fantasy writer, I think maybe of all time, like sword and sorcery writer, because he doesn't go so hard on the sorcery, but there is sorcery. So his first big one was the First Law trilogy. He's got a character who's my favorite. He's essentially Conan. He's called the Bloody Nine or Logan Nine Fingers. And what he's done is he created this world that has lasted throughout all his books, and they all tie together. And I just started his newest trilogy called the Age of Madness trilogy, and it's essentially set when technology is starting to hit. Like they're starting to be they said wagons on rails. Trains are really about to hit trains, and factories are starting to happen, and it's good, man. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. It's called A Little Hatred. It's the first book in it. For those that have never, The Heroes, the First Law trilogy, which you got to check out. He's got some short stories here and there.
Look him up on
The Far Country, which is my favorite book of all his books, because, for spoiler warning, that's the final Bloody Nine book that we know of. We don't know what happens, but that also features one of my favorite scenes in all sword and high fantasy or sword and sorcery books. So I'm super excited about that.
Looks like they have a trilogy on Hoopla called Half King.
Joe Abercrombie? I don't know that one.
Half King, Half a War.
Let me look it up.
Half a War, Half a World, or Half the World, or something like that.
I don't know what that one is. That is not. I don't know if I would.
A different Joe Abercrombie.
No, that's him, but he makes some. But this one doesn't have anything to do with the First Law and the Bloody Nine and all those things.
So he wraps them up in trilogies, though.
For the most part,
I like that.
So. Yes and no. The Age of Madness trilogy that I just started, and going back to his biggest one, The First Law, those are both trilogies, but then he has some standalone books like The Heroes, The Far Country, and some other ones that connect
But that's okay. I'm okay with that too. I don't like if I look at a fantasy series and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool, and then you go like click on like the rest of the books in it, and it's like one of 17 books. Nope, I'm out.
I think that the books are good enough that you should buy one if you're going to even. But I would start with the First Law.
The First Law. Okay.
That's the one that kickstarted the story, because it's not just I mentioned Bloody Nine because he's my favorite character, and he's called Bloody Nine because he has 9 fingers.
Okay.
He's a Conan type guy. He's the best fighter in the planet.
Yep.
But he also when he goes into his berserker rage, he turns into the bloody. He's Logan Nine Fingers. He turns into Bloody Nine. Then he doesn't give a fuck who he kills, good guys, bad guys, whatever.
Just anyone around.
And he's my favorite character because he also later in the Far Country he goes by the name of Lamb, and he's trying to just get away from everybody, but he can't. And I think I've told that story on here. And this is a spoiler, but it's a lot of books. You may forget about it. There's this guy named Cole Shivers who's also considered one of the deadliest men walking the planet. This whole book called The Far Country, it's just that. The Far Country is just like this, the least explored part of Abercrombie's world.
Okay.
So he goes off.
These are all in one
big world. Yeah.
Okay.
Over like 27, 30 years.
Okay.
And he goes off to go get away from everybody there, mainly because some friends turned on him, so he knows they'll try to kill him. And this whole book is about him with this guy and this girl and these savages, and there's a little bit more magic in this one. But the book's amazing, but the final scene is this whole book, Cole Shivers is hunting him. Okay, he's just got to get proof for Black Dow in the north to prove that he's dead.
Oh, okay.
And then the final scene of the book, spoiler warning for everyone, is this whole epic battle, this whole epic journey and adventure happens, and they're done with it. And they walk out of the store getting supplies, and Cole Shivers is in the street, almost like an Old West style.
Oh, nice.
And he looks at Logan Nine Fingers, and he goes, well, I've been looking for you. He goes, well, you found me. He goes, now what? So you're like, oh, boy. These are the 2 of the baddest guys he's written. The guy...
So does it end there, or does the battle happen?
So Bloody Nine is single-handedly the baddest man walking the planet. But Cole Shivers might be the deadliest man because he knows how to kill people without a fight.
Yeah.
So they have this epic, it's only like a 3-page scene, and they have the stare, and the girl's like, Lamb, and he's like, no. And he goes, this has to happen. And he, and so Cole Shivers, he goes, I was sent to see if Logan Nine Fingers was still alive. He goes, as far as I'm concerned, that man's dead. And he turns and walks off.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, that was the greatest scene ever.
Yeah.
And then the Logan, he tells the family, he goes, I can't go with you because he won't be the only one.
Yeah.
So he sends them on his way, and that's the last time we hear from him. Well, this new trilogy is set after that.
Same character, though?
No, he's not in it.
Okay.
But it's all his name comes up a lot because one of the things that's in this world is big is they fight in the square. You go in the squares where men are made, legends are made. Mm-hmm. Like wars will be fought, and if they're at a standstill, the 2 kings will say, "Okay, then we'll duel to the death in the square." Well, he's the only guy to ever win 11 matches in the square.
Oh, okay.
And so that's mentioned a lot.
Go ahead.
So that this story is separate of him, but he's all over it because everybody I want to be as famous as the Bloody Nine, and I love it. It's great.
Did you watch or did you read The Last God on Hoopla?
Not yet. I have it to watch.
You should check if you dig that. I think you'd probably dig it pretty much. If you're into that, I think it's cool, but it's not my main go-to all the time.
And I like Once and Future because of the sword sorcery aspect.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll do this real quick before we find out what you wanted to bring up because it's a good transition. We brought up the Wakanda trailer. We can talk about San Diego Comic-Con as much as we want, but the other exciting things for me is we're finally getting an honest attempt at a Dungeons & Dragons movie.
Yeah.
And the trailer looked great.
It did look great. And I thought it was going to be kids playing, almost like a Jumanji aspect.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
No, it's set in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah, in fact, it's set on the Sword Coast or Forgotten Realms. I think it's in the Forgotten Realms.
And there was a little bit of controversy, I guess, and I don't know shit about Dungeons & Dragons. So, to me, everything just looks cool. But I guess the one who changes into an owl werewolf mixture is that's not really what that character can do.
So we don't know. We didn't. There is characters that can do that.
Yeah.
We don't know what. So you'd have to be super high level. Yeah. Maybe he is. We don't know.
She, I think.
She. But Chris Pine, and he's a bard, which is hilarious.
What's her name? Michelle Rodriguez. Hugh Grant's the bad guy.
Wait a minute, was that Michelle Rodriguez? I thought.
Michelle Rodriguez is in it.
Oh, I thought it was the girl from.
No, she's like the muscle in the group.
She's the barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the name of it, Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah, and Chris Pine, he's not the handsomest Chris, but I think he's got the. I think he's got the best chops.
Yeah, and Sophia Lillis, she's a druid, or there's a druid in it, and she's the chick from the It movies. It's got a lot of good people in it. Yeah. So I'm excited about it.
And it kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan like me, they've been talking about it for a little while. I did not expect
the third attempt at a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
No, God, no, God.
Well, there's the
hundreds of attempts. There's there's let's say the main studio attempt.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of B movie attempts at stuff too.
2001 has Jeremy Irons and Marlon Wayans.
And
I know I've watched this movie. Cannot tell you one thing about it.
Bad movie. This one looks great. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, I told Dwayne I'll drive to Joplin to go watch it with him.
Oh, for sure.
So excited about that.
He's a big old freaking.
Yeah. So anyway, what was that? What did we put a pin in a while ago?
The Munsters trailer from Rob Zombie. What did you think of that?
I think I'll enjoy it, but I expected a more serious attempt at it. But he looks like he's going straight. Yeah, he's going. Well, a lot of his movies, film style, are that way because he loves that '70s, early '70s. It
doesn't even look '70s. It just looks cheap.
Yeah.
If it was like a Tarantino or like a what's his name that did the Death Race stuff.
Oh, you mean Robert Rodriguez?
Yes, but they produced Tarantino produced him. Like if it was a Robert Rodriguez or something along those lines, I'd get it. But this just looks so campy.
But I think so. I've watched all his movies, Sepultura, also all of them. Mm-hmm. He makes a movie on purpose.
Yeah.
So you're
gonna trust the process?
Yeah, I expected it to be like a more serious take on the Munsters, but this is a Munster origin story, which I didn't see coming.
No, I didn't see that either.
The family origin story, and it actually looks like what it's going to be is a hour and 20-minute version of a 30-minute sitcom.
Yeah, and so I got another question for you. Do you think it looks so campy because he's actually wanting the black and white release to be the way you actually watch it?
I would bet. Bet because he likes to stay true to the origins on that stuff.
Because there's that. The reason I asked that is because there's that photo of Nicolas Cage as Nosferatu.
Yeah,
it's the old style Nosferatu, and he's in like this like giant like suit. He's like really really white, and then his suit is like a really bright like maroon red velvet suit, and everybody's like, man, he looks ridiculous, and then. It comes that the director's like, no, the colors have to be really, really bright because it's actually a black and white film, and that's how it plays better on the camera.
Yeah,
and I think that there's going to be a black and white version that.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he wanted. I didn't know this. I remember it vaguely after I read it, but do you know there was like a attempt at a relaunch of that with Jerry O'Connell?
Yeah.
And apparently you can watch it, and the internet now is like, this was actually really good.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the studio killed before it got legs.
Because it was a stupid idea. So they took all the episodes and just made a movie out of it.
Yeah, and he's like kind of a sexy Herman Munster.
They're not monsters. They don't look like monsters, but they are monsters.
Got scars on his face.
Yeah, but they are monsters.
But he's like Jerry O'Connell.
I'm going to try to watch it. I'm going to try to check it out.
Worth watching.
Yeah. The only other thing I brought up is the only comic books worth of note that I've read lately. I've downloaded. I'm halfway through the King Dynasty since Marvel's going to the MCU is going to adopt it.
Okay.
And I'm reading the story that's kind of inspired it. It's pretty good. It was Kirk Busiek's final run and Alan Davis art, which is beautiful art. So I liked it. And the other comic book I read, I didn't read it until this week. The new relaunch for Amazing Spider-Man was Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. Oh, it's great.
Is it? Okay.
You love Spider-Man, and
I'll catch up on that.
And I love when Spider-Man is done well. I liked it enough to where I want to. I don't know why he's where he's at. So I was like, shit. Now I got to find out why he's...
Because everybody likes to shit on Spider-Man.
Well, yeah. But John Romita Jr. is the definitive Spider-Man artist for, like, amazing. I love him. So it looks great. I just like it also takes place in a post Devil's Reign, which I love Zardosky's Daredevil run. So they've really tied it together.
Speaking of that, there's the Woman Without Fear. That's the new one, right?
No, that's the miniseries.
Okay, because I'm reading that right now.
And then they've relaunched Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I've been reading is I'm reading Woman Without Fear. I'm all caught up on what Hoopla has for that. And then I read I'm reading Dan Slott's Fantastic Four.
I haven't read that yet.
And it's fun.
I like Dan Slott. You like Dan Slott because he was a good Spider-Man writer,
He was a good Spider-Man writer, and he had his ups and downs in that run. Like, he did a lot of ridiculous stuff. And I think that the Fantastic Four work really well for him because ridiculous is the nature of them.
Yeah.
And he really understands, like, the family concept of them. Like, he gets, like, the reasons that they do what they do. And Chip Zdarsky actually did a Fate of the Four.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to read that.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty... I read the first 2 runs of Dan Slott, and then I switched over and I read that, and it's just about... The Thing and Johnny Storm jumping from multiverse to multiverse to figure out like where they are or where
Reed Richards
and Sue are in the family. And Dr. Doom is a good guy at this point and everything, and he's like, they're dead, right? And things like, yeah, I know, but Johnny's like struggling, so I need to bring him on this journey to pull them back into hero mode. And they're also losing their powers, so they got to figure out how to get them back.
Oh, okay.
Because their powers are all interconnected.
It's the final story of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and it's good. But Dan Slott brings them back in an awesome way. And who's doing the art on Dan Slott's run? Let me look that up real quick. It's Sean Izaskis. Izaakse.
Let me look at it. I don't know who that is. Zaski. Let's see what else he's done. Let me look at the... I thought the art looked pretty good.
The art is really, really good.
He did Contest of Champions. I remember him. Our Champions. And then he's done... What else has he done? Pathfinder. Oh, that's why I read all those Pathfinder comic books.
Which one's the Pathfinder?
Pathfinder is a company that is the competitor to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
And he did all those comic books. So yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good artist. He captures the Thing really interestingly, and I really like the Thing. Like, he's probably in my top 5 of like, because he's goofy.
Yeah, he's the old lovable Ben Grimm.
Yeah, and
he's short. He's muscled.
Yeah,
he's a rock.
And now he's
the blue-eyed, ever-loving Thing.
Yeah, and he has like the cheesiest fucking lines, and they're great. And but he never gives up. And I never realized that like if you knock his rocks off, like he's actually skin and bone underneath.
Well, yeah, because that was a big thing there in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. He had a metal mask from a fight with Wolverine. Wolverine carved his face up, and it had to heal over time.
Yeah, I like that. And then like one of the stories is he gets to turn human. Like they figured out how to get him human like once a year.
Oh, that's sad. That makes for a good story. Yeah,
it is a pretty good story.
Alicia Masters.
And she's blind, and he's her muse.
Yeah,
it's good. It's just I like it.
I'll have to read it.
Grounded, but also ridiculous.
Yeah, I have to read it. That sounds fun. I was about to say something else. You made me think of it with the comic book, but it jumped out of my head. I guess that means we're probably coming to an end.
I think so. Man.
I don't know if I left anything else on the table. There was a lot of good news coming out of San Diego this year.
What's her name? Olivia Newton-John died today. That's
right.
A shame.
Tom, at first I didn't know she died. I just saw Tom.
Anytime Tom says anything,
does a random text. I was like, he just misquoted.
Somebody died.
He just misquoted a Grease song, and I'm like, wait, before I say anything. And I saw Olivia Newton-John, and tell you what, for 73, good-looking woman. Yeah, you said that.
Wow, she's. Wow,
I think her. By the way, I believe her.
Not that matters, but she was very pretty.
Oh, she was always pretty. I believe her daughter was smoking hot too.
Yeah, that's a shame either way.
Oh yeah. Good life. I mean.
Yeah, This is a rough year for gangsters, by the way. Like all the fucking mafia gangsters from Goodfellas and Sopranos are all dropping like flies.
100%. There's the 2 daughters. The one you can see which one I'm talking about on the left there. Yeah. That's the winner of that show.
What's the other actress that just got into a really bad car wreck?
Oh, Anne Heche.
Yeah.
Ellen's ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's that girl. You remember back in the day when she broke up with Ellen, she was wandering in the desert and just walked into some people's house.
Yeah.
And she had to be admitted into a rehab facility or a psychiatric facility. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of drug use, a lot of booze, and by drug use I mean maybe prescription medication.
Yeah.
Because if you see the videos, she flying down that road.
Oh, see, I didn't even see it.
So what happened was. I got one more thing I want to talk about when we're done with this because that's.
We can talk about Ezra Miller real quick.
Yeah, two more things then. But
I love this fight.
What happened was an old Will Smith quote, so I want to touch base with him. But so what happened? She wrecked into a parking facility, into a wall, and people tried to get her out, and she backed up and sped off.
Oh shit!
And then the door.
Oh, you got to be fucked up.
And then these blink cameras or the home cameras, people's front door cameras, caught her going like 60 through a neighborhood, like this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then you hear boom. Yeah. She got. She might have been trying to commit suicide.
Well, that's a shame.
Who knows? I mean, I'm not speculating.
You don't want to put words in her mouth. Hopefully she pulls out.
But so
we'll see.
I said Will Smith. What do you think of his apology?
Oh, I don't care about that.
Too late. Chris Rock ain't buying it. Here, listen. And one of a podcast I listen to, they're like, dude, the only way Will Smith is going to get back on the good side of the population again is if he comes out and goes, guys, I married a crazy woman.
Yeah. I think he's just got to be honest.
And
I have two weird kids.
And I've had enough, and I snapped, and it's my bad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to be a better me. I don't know if I'm going to divorce this crazy bitch, but,
And we're going to keep working on each other, and, honestly, my kids are weird, too.
Yeah, so...
I watched, I tried to watch... And, growing up, Bad Boys 1, I've said this, was, my definitive action movie.
And you love Bad Boys 2, sans
I did not love Bad Boys.
Sans
the Cuba.
It was
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But Bad Boys 3 is a...
bad movie.
The worst B movie I've ever... one of the worst ones I've ever watched.
It's a bad plot. Martin Lawrence, you can't take your eyes off of him because he looks like shit throughout the whole movie.
It's like Will Smith didn't even act in this.
He didn't look good.
I was like, this is so...
It's a bad movie. I will say this. It's still more believable than the last two Fast and Furious. But it's still a bad movie.
But not better acted. I mean, if you were
equally acted.
If there was the Academy Award and the only two movies that came out in that year were Fast and the Furious 9 and Bad Boys 3... Vin Diesel would win.
No, I'd give it to the Asian dude in Fast and the Furious. That's who I'd give it to out of those.
Okay.
But
just the two main guys though. You're not wrong.
It's a bad movie.
It's a
bad movie. Me and Missy watched it in COVID when it came out. And
it's on FX or whatever, and I threw it on.
It's bad.
And I was like, I fell asleep 4 minutes
It
in.
demeans how good the first one was.
And how fine the second one was.
Yeah, it makes the second one look like a great movie.
like a fucking...
It's going to make House Party 2 look like House Party 3. Ezra Miller.
Go ahead.
Ezra Miller.
He's one in Vermont now?
Everywhere. He's a bad person.
So how do you fix...
Flash?
The Flash movies.
You come out before it. You have Michael Keaton come out before it. And
we didn't talk about that.
Like how Tom Cruise came out before the Top Gun movie and said, we wanted the movie to be the experience in the theater. This is why we make movies. So you have Michael Keaton come out and say, hey, there's a lot of bad things in this world. We don't condone any of them, but we put our heart and soul in this movie, and we wanted to show
there's
you the
other
best
actors
product.
that
and cast and
crew and everything that need to be And speaking of that, the Batwoman movie got shut down. Or
$90 million
Batgirl,
just fucking going in a tank.
And they released a still of her and Michael Keaton in the suit, and I'm like, damn, that's bringing back some memories. He still can pull it off.
Missy goes, Michael Keaton's the X Factor here. Don't put him in a DC movie anymore.
He just must be he's just whispering.
Ezra Miller is the worst person in Hollywood right now.
He's clearly insane.
100%.
Clearly insane. He's a great actor. I remember
but it has enough money to be on the run.
Yeah. The first time I saw him in anything was Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, it's a good movie.
This guy's a good actor.
He wasn't bad in the Justice League. He wasn't my Flash. He wasn't my Wally West or Barry Allen.
They should have just made him gay.
Yeah, they just should have done Barry Allen.
Yeah, that's
what they should have done.
Yeah, exactly. But he was just an awkward, weird gay kid. I'm like, just lean into that.
Yeah.
If that's where you want to go with it.
Also, by the way, you know, does it get any? I mean, you had him and Johnny Depp in the same movie over in the Harry Potter world. You know,
I tried watching that too. I can't even.
I watched
finish
it.
that.
I finished them all.
Did you?
Yeah, it took me about 4 days to watch the final one.
Yeah. I just...
Kaylin, for whatever reason, now has decided in life to be a Harry Potter fan, and she's watching the originals.
That's fine.
She walks around. She loves them. I said, hey, when you're done, you may be tempted to watch Fantastic
Beasts.
Don't. Like, it's the bad. It's just,
it could have been so good.
it's got nothing to do with any. Even when they give you Dumbledore, it's not good.
Yeah, and
And
or
he's good.
beasts. Like it's in the title. Like here's some weird animals that are a B plot. Like
Yeah.
they should be the A plot.
Yeah, it's a bad movie, a bad trilogy.
They're terrible.
So that's all we got, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, that's right.
Yeah, we squeeze in a whole podcast in 3 minutes. There, we're professional.
That's right. And that 3 minutes we stretched into an hour and a half. So there's no one else here but you to say bye.
Hold on to your butts,
and
people.
we're playing the music.